Welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Romano. Have you ever wondered about what if the courts did go against Johnny Depp, and that if he actually did have to pay her $100 million because he's worth $200 million in the state of California or wherever it was 50-50, was Virginia. So in some states, it's 50-50 from the time when you get married, like Nevada, Florida, etc. Pennsylvania, very bad place to live or get a divorce. And I'm not sure what Virginia is because I'm not an attorney, but what if Johnny Depp actually had to pay her $100 million, half of what he's worth? So he gets, I think this is his third marriage or second marriage, whatever it is, but she did get married a number of times. How would Johnny Depp honestly protect his assets? And that's something called asset protection. Asset protection is the most important thing in wealth creation. Some people are capable of making 500 grand a year for their entire life, or 300,000 or 10 million or 50 million, whatever it is, whatever their job is and their career, or they own a company and they're able to make money. But people spend their money. People will buy campers, they'll buy summer houses, they'll buy whatever it is. And those are not tax deductions, okay? True asset protection and part of making money is also preserving it. If you want to spend the returns on your estate, that's fine. But don't spend the money that you actually made. That's what you're supposed to save. And then if you have $1 million, let's say, and it's earning 10%, that's $100,000 a year that you could spend. Or, of course, you have to minus the taxes, etc. And of course, you would want to put money back into the entity. It's called a private foundation, not a trust. A trust is a waste of garbage piece of paper, an agreement. A true asset protection that Johnny Depp, Harrison Ford, all these people, all these basketball players, football players, they make all this money, but they're giving all the money to their family to buy a house, to buy this, to buy that. And then by the time they finish their career, they're 30 years old, they're penniless. The percentages of athletes and famous people, when they finish their career, they're penniless. And how is this possible? I think Johnny Depp was penniless at one point, or was it Nicolas Cage? I can't remember the story. But the point is that they've made all this money, yet it disappears. Well, if you're good at spending money, then how about this? Spend it on your private foundation. Create a private foundation in Liechtenstein and put all your assets in that private foundation. Before we continue the video, please remember, if you like my videos, to do thumbs up to say thank you. Thank you so much. If he had $200 million net value, and you could guarantee you that money is probably with an investment bank earning what, 10%? So that's 20 million a year that he was making from his investments, and he spent that too. This whole disaster, how people could become famous, but yet they can't manage their own assets. There's many companies out there that could help you, but do they really do the job that they're supposed to? And that answer is no, they don't. So just because you have an attorney at a big company and they go to Harvard Law School, that doesn't mean anything. That's only a piece of paper. Do they understand asset protection? Are they actually helping their clients manage their assets and protect those assets? No. Now, of course, as a company, if you're doing this, when you advise your clients have to accept it in order for the company to actually do it. That's why I created this video, because it's mind-boggling that these people make so much money like Johnny Depp, and then they could just lose it overnight. And unfortunately, based on Johnny Depp's personality, whether you like him or not, whether he's the same in the movies as his own personality. Like, I met Harrison Ford, and Harrison Ford is actually a really nice person. And the acting personality that he has is identical to his own. Even the way he looks, is the way he walks, everything that's Harrison Ford. Now, as for Johnny Depp, I'm not sure if he's actually truly genuine, But based on his relationship with that monster that he married, I mean, so in other words, Ian, the owner of Tesla, has to give her $7 million and he's not even married to her? What? That's nuts. So, okay, so you already know that Ian was threatened and he paid her off to get rid of her. Then she meets Johnny. Okay, so if he's doing drugs, whatever it is, that's not my business. But the point is that she found another winner, and probably with a big heart, because he was paying for her entire family and they were living with him. So if he's doing drugs and there's kids in the house, she's actually allowing this. Maybe the factor that he's not a drug addict, right? Because if you're dating someone and your boyfriend or now husband that it was is doing drugs, why are you gonna let the family see that? It's not proper. I don't think that he was a drug addict. I think that he was a very kind person. And certain people really like to help people. Certain people are really funny and they just, that's who they are. I am so happy that Johnny Depp did not have to pay her a dime. Nothing made sense of what she was saying. But these type of situations happen. Look at Joan Crawford's story. She was a monster. How did she kill all 3 husbands? And how did they all go down the stairs? Well, she got them drunk and she pushed them down the steps. And she took their wealth. And that's why Pepsi today, unfortunately, is not as good as Coke. Coke is the #1 company because of Joan Crawford pushing Pepsi down to the ground. They never recovered. And finally, you have to say to yourself, well, if Johnny Depp has such professional people with all that money managing his assets, why didn't his attorney say, you need to create a private foundation in Liechtenstein? Otherwise, people are going to sue you and take away your assets. So in other words, attorneys actually want to make money, and that's how they do it. So they don't tell you to do that because it costs a couple of $1,000s to do an asset protection plan in Liechtenstein, or create a private foundation here in America. It doesn't even cost a couple $1,000s. So that's why attorneys probably don't advise you, because one, when you get sued, you have assets that they could also take to get money, and the other person won't sue you if you don't have anything in your name, right? So if you take everything out of your name and you are somehow getting sued, whether it's Johnny Depp, if he had no money in his own name, would she actually sue him? Well, her attorney's first gonna check to see what he owns, to see if they can confiscate what he owns. And then they're gonna say, okay, let's sue him. But if evidently in the case, I don't know the story of the entire case, but if he had nothing in his name, the attorney would say, well, what are you suing him for? Because he has nothing in his name and he hasn't worked for 5 years. So he has no income in his name. His private foundation is separate from him, so they can't sue that. Again, that's real asset protection. And it's so important to do asset protection like that. You have your LLC, your house in your LLC's name. The owner of the LLC is the private foundation in Liechtenstein. I say Liechtenstein because that's hardcore asset protection. Belize is the next step down to another place that you could create a private foundation. You could create 2, actually, one in Liechtenstein and one in Belize. It's not the Cook Islands, not the Cayman Islands, not Singapore. Don't listen to anyone you speak to, and especially never take the attorney's advice. They know how to apply, they know how to file a document called a contract with the government, but they're not experts on true asset protection. Maybe there are some that actually are true, professionals, but why would they do it if you have $100 million like Johnny Depp does, and everything's in his name, let's say, then why would the attorney advise you to do it, to get everything out of your name? Because he knows that you're going to get sued eventually, and the other attorney on the other side knows that you have assets in your name. So again, the attorney is going to make money. They all do. They both sides of the token make money. But the fact is, never have your assets in your own name, ever. And when you search the real estate Manhattan real estate book at the Revney, you'll notice so many thousands of people actually have their apartments and their buildings in their name, which is just amazing how stupid they are. Because at any point in time, they could actually get sued and the courts could take everything away. I want to thank you so much. If you like my video, please remember to subscribe. Please remember to do thumbs up down there and to say thank you. And please remember to share my video with at least 5 people. And finally, if you have questions, send me questions to the live chat and I will answer your questions there, or I'll make future videos just for you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.